is he walking? Please go into that as much as possible, because I know there are a lot of people that, like myself, who would like to know how long he's going to be walking, why he's walking, why is he really choosing not to fly. I mean, I did read the first issue of yours. Go ahead.
Well, he's going to keep walking until he gets where he's going. And stop. No, well, I'll tell you the exact opposite, the total truth. I was having dinner with Dan Didio on 2 different occasions. And the first one, he was talking about Superman and saying, there was concern that he had that he's become almost kind of irrelevant, that he's fallen off the cultural radar screens a lot, and that he's been involved in one big cosmic event after another, after another, after another. And the problem is, you put Superman next to 10 million other Kryptonians who have the same power set, it diminishes him. And I said, we don't know what to do to sort of bring the character back and make him, special to America again. I said, what you got is take this guy who can fly around the planet 10 times and pin him to the ground. Make him walk across the country. Let him get involved in personal stories. When Superman first started out, he was created as a hero of the Great Depression. The guys who created him lived through that, and said, we want to make someone who is, the court of last resort for the everyman. And so the things he got involved with weren't big galactic stories. They were guys saying blackmail, there's a murderer over here, there's a psychopath over there, war criminals. Those are the kind of stories he got into because he was the person we could turn to help us out. We who had no hope. So let me bring it back around to that again. Bring him across the country, get him into the lines of individual people he encounters. There'll be some big threats along the way because in some cities where people have moved out, there's abandoned homes and factories, God knows what has moved in the interim. So we have some real action pieces coming as well. But let's see the country through his eyes and see him through the country's eyes. And we'll open it up to the fans that they can ride in along. Here's our projector. If you're anywhere within 20 miles of this path, you can ride in and we'll come to your town. And suddenly, this made national news in the New York Times. The Times of India had an editorial about it, for God's sakes. And that was the purpose, to A, bring him back to the center of the country's consciousness, and B, bring him into stories that are as intimate and familiar to your heart as the quiet turning of your considered conscience. That was the goal. And we're going to be pursuing those stories for approximately 12 issues, give or take muscle minutes. And as far as the direction, same with Wonder Woman, is that we need to do something with her. I said, here's what I have in mind, and I can't tell you what the details were, but there was a double timeline discussion going on. And they said, you know what, we trust you after you got him off the ground. Do what you're going to do, and we'll back you 100%, we'll back you play. You took Thor, who was always a mid-60s character, sales-wise, brought it to the top 10. Spidey was top 10 while we were working on it, both of them dropped out since. And we trust you, just go and do what you're going to do. And they've been very supportive from day one. Even when I told Dan I wanted my brother Harley Geek. After he passed out, he was very supportive.